Well, we also heard from the running backs and Carlos Lachlan pushing the running backs to become better. And I thought one of the points that he made a few different ways concerning individuals was about he doesn't put a whole lot of stock in the size of the back. What do you think, Tony?
Well, I think he sort of does, because when CJ Donaldson arrived at 243 pounds, Lachlan and Mickey Marotti were like, no. So they put some stock in getting him to slim down. But I mean, I'm with him. Like, you've seen all different kinds of guys do it at Ohio State. And so you don't have to be 6'3", 227 like Eddie George was. You can be 5'9", 201 like J.K. Dobbins was and do just fine. So I'm with them on that. And the interesting thing is they've got different sized guys in the room. And, even talking about like Bo Jackson, who is like 5'11", he said he's up to like 220 now. So 6 foot, 220, something like that. Like, you've got your standard bearers who, like, this is what a running back should look like. And it's like, well, James Peoples, who is 5'10", although Lachlan will tell you like he's not 5'10", or he's not 5'11". Like, he's a lower level, a shorter guy, but doesn't matter because he's just as effective. Like, J.K. Dobbins was 5'9". Does that mean anything? I mean, he was the first 2,000-yard rusher in Ohio State football history. So, you can be whatever. And Jerry Westbrooks was 6'2", 225. What did he do? Nothing. It's like you can get all different kinds of sizes, and it just comes down to skill set and how they use him. And CJ Donaldson's just an interesting guy because not just of his size, but of his past as a receiver and a tight end. So there's some different things that he can do that you can call upon him for that maybe you can't others, but they're still going to cross-train everybody in terms of you got to catch the ball because it's been effective for them for the past few years.
Yeah, I like the tandem that they have there at running back with James Peoples and C.J. Donaldson. I think they're going to be okay. Get Donaldson where they want him to be, obviously. Sam Williams-Dixon, he's back. And Bo Jackson, he's straight out of central casting in terms of what you'd look for in a running back at Ohio State. Let me see what they list him as. Number 25, Bo Jackson, and 5'11", 208. Boy, oh boy, he casts a bigger shadow than that, in my opinion. He's a prototype, I think, and I'm excited to see what would happen. Our guy Dave Biddle was like, well, why don't you wear number 34? Whatever. I guess in homage to the first Bo Jackson, but he's his own guy, 25 Bo Jackson. So we'll see how he fits in and how he gets opportunities this spring and into the fall.
Yeah, Sam Williams-Dixon was interesting. Talked with him a little bit. Of course, he entered the portal not even after the season, towards the end of the season, and then he came back. And so we're talking to him about that and asking, why did you enter the portal? And his quote was, "It was me listening to the wrong people." Said he didn't want to leave Ohio State, and so it's like, well, who was it that was telling you this? And basically said peers, So it's just a really difficult time for young guys when they see and their friends and their family see other players making money or transferring and making money. It's like, if you're not making your money right now as a true freshman, you're losing money. You got to go. You're losing money right now. And it's hard for the people on the outside to be as focused on the here and now as the players on the inside, because that's what they need to be focused on, or else nothing's going to come of it. And a lot of people think this just happens. Well, if it's not happening at Ohio State, just go do it at like Kentucky or somewhere else. And, go do it at Colorado, like Dallin Hayden. How'd that go? Like this, it's not just something that is going to happen. So, Chip trained him last year at Kentucky. How'd it go? So I think he also talked about how I needed to grow up. He didn't have like a great connection with Carlos Lachlan because that was not his original running backs coach. Tony Alford left about 12 months ago at this point. So like he didn't have this great connection with Lachlan, but that's something that has also grown because, I asked him, so, did you have to initiate more of these conversations? He's like, I did, because I'm not a talkative person. And so he had to be like more aggressive in seeking out Carlos Lachlan and building that relationship, So I think on one hand, and didn't get a chance to talk to Locke about this, but you do want to know how committed a player is to the program. So you do kind of want to see them come to you and put the effort in, and you can't just coddle somebody and take them along. And so he's a guy that, everybody's kind of just forgotten about, but he's back where he wants to be. So I'm interested to see how he does.
Mika is asking about TC Caffey, the running back. He's been kicking around campus for a while and got injured last year, I believe, leading into the season. So I would think this would be his best opportunity to get on the field. But what do you think the forecast is there?
He is definitely on the field right now, going through drills, 5'10", 215 pounds, very promising walk-on. And we will see if they carve out a niche or a role for him when the season comes along. I think that they're going to look primarily at those scholarship backs first, but I think it's a great thing that Caffey seems to be healthy right now, and we'll try and add some depth to this team. And I think there were instances the last couple of years where he could have played if he was healthy, but it just didn't work out for him, obviously. So great to see him back. He has this year and next year in terms of eligibility remaining, 2025 and 2026. And we'll see if there's anything for him at Ohio State, or if this is simply, to get his feet wet and then go somewhere else where he can actually play a regular role, because I think he's got a tremendous amount of potential.
Yeah, it's just there's just not many opportunities for the fourth guy if there are no injuries. Like Sam Williams-Dixon was the fourth guy last year, and he had 7 carries. You go back to 2023 when there were all kinds of injuries, and Dallin Hayden, 19 carries, Evan Pryor, 19 carries. So it just sort of depends on what's happening. And then really, like, would you rather have Bo Jackson getting those touches than TC Caffey? I think that's
a little higher upside.
Right. That's something that they always have to factor in. But I do think like there'll be blowouts, and you're not going to want to play necessarily all of the freshmen more than 4 games. So I think it takes the right game, the right situation. But Mason Maggs got into a game last year running the ball, if I recall, and he's a walk-on quarterback, and he got to run the ball as a running back. So there should be some opportunities, unless Ohio State's in a bunch of close games this year.